Hello there, and welcome back to Empower Your Soul podcast. It's me, it's Nicole. I'm here, and Spirit just kind of plopped this idea in my brain to record this podcast today about my class that I had on Friday with my teacher. And yes, I continue to take classes. I think it's so good to take classes no matter what level you're at, just because you could learn something from everybody. Something from everybody. And I honestly, a lot of the stuff that I've learned throughout this class of advanced mediums, it's not necessarily how to do the work, but it's more nuances. So for me, it's a very, very, very valuable class. So I highly recommend, no matter the level, work with your team, work with real teachers, get to know people, collaborate. That's a huge part of this work too. But I digress there. And I think today I wanted to just take, and I think this is going to be a little bit of a short episode, but I wanted to talk about how people put spiritual modalities in siloed boxes. And this was so prevalent in the class that I just had. So bear with me a moment, because mediumship is talking to dead people, right? Spirit guides, or you're talking to spirit guides and you're getting information, advice from spirit guides. Past lives is a whole other modality that can be done several different ways. A lot of people who do past lives do past life regressions with a certified hypnotist. There's probably a different word for that, but they're hypnotized and they pull out past life. I've done one of those. I've done a QHHT session. Personally not a fan, but that's me. And then you also have Akashic Records, where you can go and ask about the journey of your soul and past lives and everything, right? But what's interesting is these all tend to be separately taught, including, by the way, by myself, because I currently host mediumship classes, right? I don't really host spirit guide classes. I don't really host Akashic Records. I might do it. I don't know. We'll see where that goes. But I mainly teach mediumship, even though it's the foundation of spirit communication, and you can kind of take that communication modality anywhere. Simply put, based on what I just said, is most people teach and learn each of these spiritual communications in silos, and I don't fucking get it. Including myself, apparently. I throw myself under the bus on that one too, because spirit communication is the modality. It's not mediumship. It's not spirit guides. It's not Akashic Records. It's not past life regression. The modality is spirit communication, and then you can set the intention to connect with whoever you want. So here's your case in point. In my class last week, and Spirit told me I had to go. I had a very full day. This class is 3 hours long on a Friday afternoon, and I freaking love the class, but it was a very jam-packed day, and I was having dinner with some friends of mine right after the class. And I'm like, I could really just skip this class. And they're like, no, you need to go. So I go, and the teacher is talking and teaching how to do past life readings and how to do spirit guide readings. I know most of you know this is not new territory for me. So I was flabbergasted why my spirit guides were having me come here. And it's like the whole class, I had one foot out the door. I'm like, could I go? Can I go? And they're like, no, you need to stay. No, you need to stay. And I don't think I needed to stay because I didn't necessarily need to learn anything, but I got some really good readings from some of the practitioners, or the practice groups, the breakout groups that we did. So I really appreciate the readings that I got. And I know there's a very, very important message that they said across both of them, and I need to sit and meditate on that, but that's a whole other thing. But what was so interesting is that when she introduced the idea of spirit guide readings and past life readings, I was the only one that did them both, as well as mediumship. Out of 8 people, I was the only, and this is not to toot my own horn. I think this is just the way that I think very differently about things, where it's all the same type of modality. It's just there's different frequencies you have to tune into. You just have to set the intention of which one do you want to tap into, and you tap into it. And besides that, so not only did people not know how to do spirit guide readings for people or past life readings for people, I think 2 out of the 8 hadn't met a spirit guide before. They themselves had not connected to their spirit guide. which I'm not judging, because I know that spirit guides can be very elusive. I know that if you're not trained in spiritual communication modalities, and if you don't trust the energies that you're getting, you know, most people don't connect to their spirit guides. And like, realistically, I understand that. That's not what I'm judging, but these are advanced mediumship students that don't know their guides. But I think that's because we teach these in silos. We teach mediumship in silos. There's no class that I'm aware of that teaches you how to connect to your spirit guide. And maybe now I have to make that class, right? There's no class that teaches you how to do past life readings that aren't past life regressions, right? But me, probably to a fault, I fucking question everything. I'm like, why can't, if I can talk to my dead loved ones and my spirit guide is with them, why can't I connect to my spirit guide and talk to them? So I do, right? I do connect to my spirit guides. If they can send me memories of my current life, why can't they send me memories of my past life? And they do. So for me, it's always been this natural jumping point. And I think all credit to my team on the other side, all my guides, because I have to tell you, they're the ones that teach me this stuff. Because I remember being very early in my mediumship, and I don't know when, but it was definitely in the first year of doing mediumship, where my guides dropped a past life into one of my readings, into one of my evidential mediumship readings. They showed me old England and a husband that worked in a coal factory of some sort, or like, I don't know if it was coal. It's been a while, obviously. I don't know if it was a coal factory. I don't know if he was I think he was a chimney sweep, actually. A chimney sweep, and it was sooty, and he died young. And this all stemmed from me reading a client, and the client and it was her departed, I don't know, husband, boyfriend, something like that. And the client was like, were we in a past life together? And my guides literally dropped it in my head, just like I was reading evidential mediumship, right in the middle of the reading. And I went with it. And from there on out, if a client asked what a past life was, so I'm like, okay, sure, hang on, let me go get that for you. And they would bring it in. And the same with spirit guides. They want to meet a spirit guide. They come in just like a departed loved one. They might look a little different, right? They might look like Ganesh. They might look like a dinosaur or an alien being, or maybe just a ball of light, or maybe like an old man or Bigfoot, or an animal, to be honest with you. I've seen dragons, but they come in the same way. It's all spiritual communication. It's all connecting and talking with the other side, with the spirit world. So the fact that there were people in my class who hadn't met a guide, who hadn't done a past life reading, who hadn't done a spirit guide reading before, blew my mind. And I think this is exactly what's wrong with how these modalities are taught today. Because everything is put in a box, but it doesn't need to be put in a box. It all overlaps. How I receive the information from guides is the same as how I receive it from departed loved ones, is the same how I receive it in the Akashic Records. Like, it's all generally the same again, but it's the difference in intention and setting the intention of what do I want to connect with, what's the intention of the reading. And I think a lot of people don't realize that. And that was so much more prevalent than I thought, just based on that class that I was in. And it really surprised me. So, I mean, if you are a practicing medium, or, someone who has clients or does practice, do you do all of these modalities, or do you tend to just stay just one? Because I find such value in doing all of these readings, because they're all different versions of helping the client. Like, it doesn't matter if a client is going to, let me see if I can arrange my thoughts in a coherent way. You can tap into whatever information you want from whoever you want the communicator to be. But the key is understanding what your clients need the most in order to get the message through to them in the most effective manner. And I think that's why I have made it made a proactive decision to learn all these additional modalities is because I realized that not everyone resonates with every single modality, and you have to pick and choose whatever your services are, whatever your offerings are, based on what's going to be best for the client, what's going to be best received for the client, because the opportunity for transformation is huge for every single one. But if you give the message in the wrong format from the wrong person, they're not going to be able to take it or believe it. So I think that's why it's so important to learn as many modalities as you can, especially if your goal is really transforming clients, because you need to be able to speak their language. You need to be able to give the information in the way that resonates with them most, so that they get the most out of those sessions. So I guess that's my challenge for all of you out there who are professionals. Do you do this today? Like, do you let spirit lead in what is the best way to get the information to your clients? For those of you that are clients, or for those of you that are I guess it's more interested in this. Would you be interested in just an open spirit communication class that lasts several months, but I'll teach you psychic, mediumship, spirit guide, Akashic Records, like everything, past lives, so that you can really use whatever tool you want to get to where you need to get to. But yeah, I guess I was just dumbfounded. And I think this is a Nicole problem, because for me, and as you heard, maybe in the Adriana podcast episode, my brain just works differently. My brain can really take things, understand it, synthesize it in a very simple, easy to understand way. And I never thought of any of this as separate modalities. I always kind of lumped them together, even though my service offerings don't necessarily reflect that, because I think I'm the anomaly. But yeah, what's your take? What's your reaction? I would love your reaction to this. But yeah, I was so surprised. I was so surprised. Not judgment. Like, I wanted to like asterisk the shit out of this. Not judgmentally, just because to me in my brain it was so normal, and for someone to not have that be so normal in their brain, I was like, what? So I just need to reassess where I'm at all the time and realize that my brain is just different. All right. I'm going to leave it there with all of you. But thank you so much for joining me. I really appreciate you just letting me go down the rabbit hole of confusion here. And I am wishing you all the best as you continue to empower your journey and your soul. All right. Take care, everybody. Bye.